Okay. Oh, hey, Alice. How's it going? It's Labor Day. It's a very special occasion. I realized no one actually knows what we're celebrating today, but we all celebrate it. And I'm celebrating this holiday with Danny, Dingo, and we got Wes Murdock. And I'm sorry, man. What was your name again?
Micah. The Coyote. We got El Coyote. Wes Murdock and El Coyote over here.
Right on, man. Well, thanks for do the Labor Day, right? Do you guys?
Yeah, I'm glad to be back on, dude. I had so much fun the last time.
Yeah, that was a real episode. Does anyone here know what Labor Day is? Because I had to Google it.
Yeah, I think we have a general idea.
Yeah.
If you want to explain it to the people.
Yeah. Why don't you enlighten us?
My understanding is it's labor unions. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's like strikes and labor unions.
We need a fucking federal holiday for that.
Coming together because we don't want to work this particular motherfucking day.
I think it's funny.
I really don't want to work at this. You gotta get a fucking day off.
Yeah, basically.
I think it's funny. Like, isn't that like a nice consolation prize? It's like, okay, you guys had these strikes and stuff, and in return, you get one day where you don't have to work now. You get a holiday in your name.
I mean, I
Well, it's also fun that I'm pretty sure I've worked every Labor Day the past 20 years.
Yeah.
You're doing a service for the people, Dingo.
Right?
You're helping out. You're providing a much needed service for the other hardworking people of this country. So I mean, good on you, man.
Right.
That's true. Essential business.
Yeah, you're just.
Aren't we all?
Try these on.
These don't have lenses.
So,
Yeah, they do.
Touch my eyes. These don't have lenses.
No, they do. They're just the type of.
They're the type of lenses I can stick my fingers and.
Well, don't do that because we don't have insurance.
All right then.
Yeah. What do you guys? What did you do today?
I slept till at least noon. Because I did get today off.
Nice.
Damn.
And then I had Delta 9 THC brownie.
Sweet.
Completely legal, but completely awesome.
The
So
right?
Delta 9's, I mean, it's not, it's like 0.3% THC, but it's like still, it fucking kicks. It's just a classification thing. It's like a hemp derivative or something instead of a cannabis derivative.
Yeah, they got hemp to produce THC. They had
You got 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
I don't know the difference between 8 and 10 though.
I mean, hey, it all smokes.
Like 10's gotta be.
Well, the way I understand is that 8 is derived from hemp, is the typical, and then 10 is more in like the research stage now.
Okay.
Man, I'm just waiting on that Delta 11 to try and take shit to
Yeah. Right.
The baker's dozen, you know, 13.
RMs go to 11, right?
RM's do 11 actually.
Yeah. There you go.
No, I've never smoked weed. I'm just
He's a scientist.
That's like being a virgin, like in the modern era.
You mean
Like, never smoked weed. You never had sex? Like, seriously?
well.
I don't believe you. Nobody believes you, man.
I mean, look at this. Tell me this dude doesn't fuck. I mean, come on, dude. Like,
I mean, I don't. You caught me. You caught me.
This is fun.
So I just found out recently, I saw a video some guy did about the battle of Athens, Tennessee. I put up a link to it. But basically, in 1945, there was a coup de grace in Athens, Tennessee. I think I sent you a link to that, Danny.
fucking sick.
Coup de grace.
Coup de grace.
Oh, I was dope as hell.
It's wild. I had
It was
no
the
idea.
last successful armed rebellion against the government on American soil.
In
Wow.
Tennessee.
Fucking sweet.
Yeah, it says see motherfuckers too.
Because
Yeah.
Tennessee fucking rules. That's why.
Yeah,
We're not trying to get red on over here.
Alex, tell them where they got their guns when they finally got sick of the shit.
from the armory.
From the guard armory. They went.
Oh yeah.
They're like
Was this some like coal mining shit or what?
Basically, well, go ahead, Danny.
veterans from the war when they left for World War was it one or two, and like for the decade they were gone, the town was taken over by all the criminal lowlifes that couldn't go to the war.
Power vacuum.
Yeah, and so they came home to like the Twilight Zone, you know, and like, you know, they were like extorting the town in every way, rigging elections and all kind of bullshit. And so they were like, well, we'll try to play fair and win the next election. And you know, they were like, you know, getting murdered and shit at the polls for trying to vote for these people. And when they saw it was all going to get frauded out, they were like, everybody go get a gun as fast as they can and come back. So the guys who left to go get guns just went straight to the National Guard and took all the weapons from the National Guard.
That makes me so mad.
Yeah.
I cried for a moment laughing.
It was so funny.
That's being so proud to be a Tennessean. That's like,
Well,
And that,
I wasn't there, unfortunately.
and then the powers that,
cool.
yeah, go ahead, Danny. My bad.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna say, like, powers that be, like, they called for reinforcements, like the police precinct, because they were outgunned and outmanned, and I mean, basically, I forget who it was they called, but they basically told them to go fuck yourselves. You're on your own.
That's what the National Guard told them.
Yeah.
Because they eventually called the National. It's funny that these guys that they were fighting had all the National Guard's guns, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But because like these people were in control of the town, they were like the governor and the police and everybody. Yeah, they called the National Guard for help. They were like, "You made your own bed, brother. You sleep in it."
Yep.
That's why.
Like, and by the way, they have all their guns anyways.
I gotta say, this is news to me.
Yeah, first I'd heard of it. It's pretty.
Because they don't want Americans thinking about the last successful armed rebellion.
Well, yeah.
Well, let's put a pin in that one then, huh?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
They
That's good. No, I really like that. It's a pretty interesting story to talk about at the rabbit hole, and I'm sure Alice will have a lot to say about that as well.
Yeah, it's a typical one. They
What
so
happened to the town after that?
so yeah
Like,
so
how did it end up playing out?
so over the course of like 10 years, the powers that be were taking advantage of. I think it started with the guy that got into office was running against like police brutality. That's something he ran on, was like, I'm going to put it into police brutality. And he ended up, once he got into office, he ended up pulling a complete 180, and he actually gave, there was like, money was given to officers for arrests. So officers had incentive to arrest people.
Right.
So they were going out of their way to harass people. Say what?
No, like they would arrest the people for looking tired, and they would say they were drunk even if they weren't, and like you got to pay like the equivalent of $300 to get out. Like, I
Damn.
don't remember how much that was in the 40s, but yeah, like you know,
Boy,
like just snatching people off the street, being like, "Hey, you want to get out, bitch?"
You got a license for being tired?
Right.
That 13 pence, you bummo. Off to the paddy wagon with you.
So
I actually have a friend who was almost arrested for falling asleep in an Alabama courthouse because he was driving his girlfriend tonight to make it to her court date.
wow.
Damn.
But the judge tried to get him for being disrespectful.
Yeah, he was like,
Sleeping in
yeah,
court.
I'll arrest you, son, you know, that kind of a thing.
Oh, my bad. I should have worshipped you like God right off the bat, but I'll worship you now, my friend.
Right.
That's the kind of shit I would say, and then they'd probably lock me up anyways.
Right.
Like,
Oh, in Alabama.
And I'd be like,
of
did
course
you
they
know?
will.
But the judge means God, right? You are that smart, aren't you? God.
You know that gavel stands for a penis, right?
You want me to put the hammer down?
He's like, and it's the biggest one in the room.
Yeah, the double head.
Oh.
There you get 'em.
Oh shit! New challenger approaches.
What's bad is they're not being compensated, but like their monthly salary to just kind of fuck you over. Like they're not passing you like what you're talking about, like not passing you some bucks. Like they're just doing it just because
Right.
they can.
I think it's like the most fantastic form of brainwashing law enforcement.
Oh yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
What?
it's
Like,
it is a cult, and they are they believe in this fantasy authority, but they make it real, and they do it better than any of the other out there. Really,
It's just like that. What was it?
Right, it's giving them their power.
What they had that study where you could like hit that button, electrify the person.
Shock therapy or something.
Yeah.
Like,
No, where they
Yeah,
gave
yeah, like
people
will
the
people
authority to do it. They
control.
weren't really shocking them, but like every one of them turned it up to like 10.
Yeah,
But they're trying to understand how the Nazis could do the thing they did without,
the Nazis were studying it. That's what they were doing. They were like fully documenting like the hint that they could push us to be cruel to others too, and how willingly they were to do it.
is if you can just say, hey, well, it was my job, then anybody will do kind of whatever to any other human being. I mean, I guess except for that small percentile that's all, nah, man, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to.
Just real quick, just want to say hi. We got Jesse Stilwagen, host of Midgard Musings in the house. Thanks for joining us, Jesse.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah,
What's
absolutely.
up,
What's up?
We're just talking about there was a coup de grace in Athens, Tennessee in 1945, and I just found out about this. It's pretty crazy.
I heard about that too. I don't know if it was because you shared it or if I saw it somewhere.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, Athens, not Greece.
I just put a link up. I put a link up to it on my main page, and then I realized I just wanted to talk about it on the show, so I wrote it down.
Where is Athens, Tennessee? Because I'm more familiar with like Athens, Georgia. I think more people are
Yeah.
from the that.
Where is Athens at?
I want to say West Tennessee.
That's what I thought. Southwest.
Yeah,
It's McMinn County.
McMinn
So-
County. Okay.
That doesn't tell me a whole lot.
I know I've or maybe I'm thinking of Athens, Alabama, but I know I've been through there.
It is
There's an
actually
everywhere.
Yeah.
it's southeast. Yeah, southeast, not
Southeast,
southwest.
okay.
That would make
Looks to be about an hour or so from Chattanooga, northeast-ish.
Okay.
that's
Gotcha.
pretty cool.
So there's some mountain people out there.
Of
They don't fuck around. They don't
ice.
fuck around out there with that shit. They're like, you're not gonna. We're gonna coup de grace your ass. Like,
Yeah, it's right. It's in the middle and still in Chattanooga. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Right off I-75.
I go
You
everywhere.
can
So
see
I
some
can't.
damn good moonshine there.
I bet.
It tastes like a water hose.
That mountain water.
well, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought a drum set today. I was telling you guys earlier,
Yeah.
and today was my first day playing drums, and it was awesome.
Nice.
It was proper.
Dude, it was
proper.
like we were both kind of surprised. I was like, man, I should have done this like 10, 12 years ago.
I said we should be a two-piece. We should just be like, well, I'm gonna make references you don't understand. We should be like Demon Belly, just like a two-piece.
Oh, don't do that.
I'll say Eagle Twin.
Being like Demon Belly.
Just assaulting the East Side.
Yeah,
Two
just
guys.
offending as many people as humanly possible with not just our music, but just
difficult.
everything else.
Not
Everything
difficult.
else that we are doing. And
All
saying.
you have to be is right wing, center wing, left wing. I don't know. I mean, you just gotta be a wing.
You just got to be a wing and start winging it.
Just wing it.
Start
Winging it, man.
And people will be like, I'm gonna pay attention to this.
You don't even have to do that much. All you have to do is exist, and someone will find an issue with you.
Well, we're actually trying.
Like, what about fuck the wings and just like do like bird music?
Bird.
Like the whole thing, just all of it.
I don't think we've
Or
ever
pick, even go for wings.
I mean, like, I like the difference between social commentary and because like, sometimes I don't like telling people what to think by any means. I'd rather like write something and have them just think, and I'd rather have someone think than tell them what to think.
I'm fully
That's my-
provoking thoughts, though. I like to provoke all kinds of thoughts. It's a little different. It's
Yeah.
similar.
For my songwriting in particular, it's just more about. It's kind of like putting yourself in abstract though, in a little bit of a way. So it's
We've never really had a song that was all like this did that, this person did that in Ukraine or blah blah blah.
yes, that's been done. That's been done. It's
And
not.
somebody else is doing it. It's always just we're throwing it out there and like know the words, which
We have like the song that we were working on today is called Lawbreaker, and it's like the chorus is like how's it go? It's like cause I'm a lawbreaker, I'm doing time, stuck in the jailhouse of your mind. It's like you're a lawmaker, so you'll be okay. You never care.
away. So it's just like anybody can kind of relate to that, where you're on the left or the right or the center or the up or down.
It's like a person that's pissed off about something.
Everybody feels disenfranchised.
You'll dig it.
And so our music's just for the disenfranchised, I feel like, on any side.
Yeah, more or less.
Why not?
So that's what we did today. So we decided that I was just gonna play some drums and he was gonna play some guitar and we're just gonna fucking rock out. And he did that. It was awesome.
Nice. Right on.
Sometimes you get together and riff out, man, and it's awesome. Whether you have an intention of writing anything at that moment or not, you just getting together, jamming.
Hi all.
The best songs come from what you're talking. Like if you have no intention of writing some masterpiece or what have you, you just get together, you just do the thing. That's what the best
Hey,
song.
Dingo, why does our music suck, Dingo?
Battle Pass first drummer once said to this guy at the show, he said, "You know why your music sucks, boy? Because you ain't ever had anything bad happen to you."
About what you know.
I haven't written like a straight Neve song in maybe a decade because I don't have the emotional turmoil anymore. All my turmoil is standard boring shit. So there's nobody wants to hear a song about fucking bills and taxes.
Yeah, you can't do a song about the dishes.
I
And
think-
shit.
Yeah, I'm sick of these dishes, woman. Yeah.
There's laundry piling up.
I'm really fortunate that I'm up to my knees in bullshit right now, so I have plenty to write about.
Just do something like you're just an angry dad, where you're like, you turn the thermostat up and turn these lights on.
Everybody can relate to that.
Anybody can relate to that.
That's
Overnight
cool.
success.
I mean, maybe not the word thermostat, but maybe I don't know. Fuck it.
Who touched the dial?
Who touched the
Who
dial?
touched the dial?
That's not it, boy.
Who touched the dial?
I'm about to hose you down.
Who touched the dial?
Oh man.
You guys see, there's a thing in Australia they're rolling out where the police have permission to have your social media accounts.
Yeah. I've heard-
Yep.
If they have permission, it's not actually hacking.
It's fucked up, man. They've gone full authoritarian with this virus nonsense,
You
man.
gotta know, United States were doing this.
They said they got helicopters that'll roll up on your backyard and be like, "Get back in the house." You got
No,
outside in
yeah.
Australia.
Yep.
No. Here's the worst part. before all this, because now they're rolling out the app on your phone just to leave your house or whatever. I mean, which is already draconian 1984 as fuck. But it's like, did you hear what they did about the rescue dogs?
Mm-mm.
Or oh my god, hey Alex, if you can pull up this story, if you can find this somewhere.
We don't have a Jamie on board today, my man.
No worries. I'll try to talk the best I can. So pretty much the way this happened like a week or two ago, where they had the adoption center for the dogs or whatever. They had dogs that were ready to be adopted. Like they had owners, people that were supposed to come and pick up the animals and take them with them. They fucking killed all the dogs to keep people from coming out and trying to pick them up. To keep people from getting together. They fucking killed.
Wow.
They killed.
Oh,
I hear what you're
fucking
saying.
Dogs, dude.
As,
To keep people
as sickening as that is, it doesn't. As sickening as it is, it's more sickening that I don't bat an eye and it doesn't surprise me at all.
When North Korea got rid of all the dogs, like nobody in the public has dogs.
I mean,
They rounded them all up like a Pied Piper.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to compare Australia to North Korea.
Well, that's why I did it. Like,
Yeah, that's kind of
like where are we going with global
hell, cops
society?
in America shoot somebody's dog about every fucking day. So
Yeah.
You
Some
know.
asshole shit. Just straight dickhead.
Yeah. like, oh God, this.
I got to kill your dog.
Uh-oh.
But this is like-
Charlie's got his girlfriend hung up in the closet. See what I do.
It's like Uncle Jimbo South Park, it's coming right for it.
Oh no, that was the first episode I think I ever saw. Coming right for it, that was just, oh wow. Classic. It's a classic.
Alex, how come you're calling me? How come you're calling my phone?
I am.
And I said, Alex Rabbit. Just call.
My bad. Sorry, Wes.
All right. I was like, I'm already talking to you, homie. What's up?
I just I wanted to talk to you. That's all.
Well, I appreciate that. I love talking to you.
His ass wanted to talk to you.
You know,
Important communication.
Hey, we can set that up. We can set up that meeting.
I have to get in line.
Just FOMO.
thinking they're lined up out the door.
Yeah. So
Oh, they are. Let me tell you.
yeah.
So
Well, you
speaking
know.
of song and music and our wonderful music city that's getting chipped away at let's shift into high gears on some shit since it is Labor Day, which means absolutely fucking nothing to anybody. I mean, I wrote a fucking report and did an oral essay on it in college. Still don't know what the fuck it's about. Looked it up before the episode, watched a video on it, and still don't know what the fuck it's about. So
The thing is, it's just one of those.
it did nothing. It did nothing.
All right. Summer's officially over. Like, go get ready to clean up your pool, I guess. I don't know.
Well, that being said, it's got nothing to do with labor, and in these times right now, labor, that's kind of a funny.
What's up, Neve?
I said in these times right now, to even be celebrating labor or labor unions or labor this or work income seems a little bit odd in general.
I don't know. I fully have like a trade right now. People, they told my generation that to get a computer job, be a nurse. But it turns out the more successful people that I know have a trade. They're working on a decent. They're
They're fixing your air conditioning or your dishwasher or
fixing your air conditioner.
or your bathtub toilet.
So
Well, right, and that's good in its own right, but what we're talking about really is not in particular jobs. I mean, I know guys that do that on their own, but they also used to work for major corporations that at any given moment with movements in legislation, which happen all the time, small businesses get crushed. And a small business is your local tradesman compared to the large electrical, plumbing, yada yada company, Lee
Right.
Company, our governor. Our governor's company is the biggest construction company in the state.
Hallowed be thy
And
name.
all of his contracts I know how.
and all his trucks are parked at all the state buildings. So, you know, yeah, we can make a little cheddar doing. I could do historic restoration like I used to do, and maybe make a little cheddar. But I'm not going to be pulling 401k bullshit.
You said Governor Lee. I think you meant Emperor Lee. That's correct.
Yeah, you're not going to have 3 like $2 million mansions spread out over the state.
Right.
You know?
You know, Iron Chancellor.
Iron Chancellor. I like that. Emperor goes for Cooper, our mayor. We call him Emperor, and then we'll call Iron Chancellor Lee.
Oh God.
Anselm became governor, and you know, immediately the state agencies stopped getting gas at the TDOT where they were supposed to get gas, and started getting it from pilot stations that he formerly owned and divested from when he got off. And then we also started getting all of our maintenance work done at Bridgestone Firestone instead of TDOT.
Yep.
Like literally like the day he became governor.
Because because he had this. It.
I don't think it's a big mystery that politics in the South is crooked as scoliosis.
Well, I mean, it's not just the South. Politics are crooked.
It goes to the very
Politics are crooked.
It's because power is corrupt, man. Like the only time you're supposed to take power is when it's out of line, and then we should all just have the same power.
Absolute
So
power
stepped out
corrupts
of power,
absolutely.
And they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna knock this this old lady's teeth out." Like we should all knock their teeth out.
That's
It's
right.
over.
I think we need to pull like an
Samurai sword
like that.
Everybody get a samurai. Like that's my first thing I'll do as governor. I'll give everyone a samurai sword.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, disarm the police. Everybody gets a sword. Like, vote for me.
That's it.
I support open carry of swords.
Utah is, or was.
Sharp
I
enough
mean,
to cut you straight in half. Guaranteed.
Utah is an open carry state. It don't matter what you carry. It can be a sword. It can be a.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're open now. We're open unregistered here now, ain't we?
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure that's the current state of affairs.
In Tennessee, you can pretty much tote one around. all you
Concealed
want.
carry, you still have to have your.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
you don't.
Oh, it's not.
Oh,
it's
no. I thought one was,
open.
we Wild West, baby.
Is it?
They still have the concealed carry permit, but I don't think you need it to do it no more.
The permit only serves you if you cross state lines.
Because it's like one of the most accepted carry permits in other states.
So constitutional carry covers both open and concealed carry for Tennessee.
Yep.
What I understand.
I'm pretty sure. We need to check. Fact check.
Well, speaking of all of that, Alex brought up a story to me the other day about Athens, Tennessee.
Oh, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
you're late to the party, bro.
Oh, y'all already bring that up?
The coup.
The coup.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all already went into that.
Oh yeah.
Y'all went into the coup without me?
That rabbit hole is gone and past.
Okay.
But, we'll revisit.
Well, you were talking about running for governor, Danny, so you know.
That's sort of where the theme generated.
Because you know, I can't run for anything.
I can't eat it.
I'd have to fire everyone and then myself in my first moment of being in office.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'll be the first wizard Christian occultist to ever run for office and see. I'll get lots of votes.
Probably not the first, but maybe the first open one.
Might be successful.
I think you have to have a felony to run for office. If what I've been hearing is true.
You need a felony to run for office.
You have to.
I ain't got no felonies, but I did fist fight a cop.
Well, you don't need a felony to
Bars.
to be the president. You just have to be complicit in enough that other people were also complicit
That's
in.
true. You have to have 2 felonies at least. 3 to be the vice president.
Like the more money you embezzle from like the Ukraine, the better.
Somebody told me years ago, if you join the
It's a method.
It's definitely that money.
if you join Amnesty International, if you join Amnesty International, your name goes on a watch list, and you are not allowed to meet the president. It's one of the groups that's on the list of, if you are part of this, you are not allowed any clearance to get near the president. Amnesty International.
It's wild.
Yep.
I'm looking at the YouTube chat. Wyatt Coverdale's hanging out in there.
I
He
didn't know
said,
that.
if we ever get a magician in office, the entire country would collapse. Well,
Nice.
where's the negative?
I mean, collapse is a relative term.
So we got people on YouTube.
I just watched the documentary
So like a star can collapse.
that said George Bush Jr. is probably Aleister Crowley's grandson.
Who?
Yeah. George W.
I've heard something like there's connecting the Crowleys and the Bushes. I don't know.
George Bush Jr.'s mom, which is George Bush Sr.'s wife, was the daughter of a bitch that was doing orgy rituals with Aleister Crowley and got pregnant around the time he became like his version of the Grand High Wizard of all time.
Dude, Crowley has probably hundreds of illegitimate children.
That's a modest number. Yeah.
Mr. Crowley, what went on in your bed?
I never heard he
The
was
Reddit
probably
journals
George Bush Jr.'s grandfather. Like, I'm so shocked. Like, and especially because he's such a good Christian president. You know?
Well, just so what? So what if he did?
Christian president. What kind of oxymorons are we working with here? That's like a fucking weaved.
Hey Jesse, this guy Wyatt, is that the kid that was on your show that time I was on there?
Same Wyatt.
Cool.
Yep.
Right on, Wyatt. Thanks for tuning in.
I
Rock
would
and
kind
roll.
of if George W. Bush had some Crowley in his blood. Like that.
I mean, honestly, that would make a lot more sense.
I would say,
Yeah, no, it certainly would. Like, I
That
was
makes
so
so much sense.
surprised.
I
I
would
was
say,
like, yeah.
Crowley in his.
Well, he just played. Now, see, the thing is, he's
we
brilliant.
all know.
He just played dumb.
George W.
Camera.
George W.'s never the president. Cheney was the president. We all know
I
Cheney.
mean, everyone knows that.
Everybody knows that. Nick House knows that. Donald Duck knows that.
I was running around Texas filming Halliburton that looked like some crazy industrial shit I had seen before. And I was like, man, if I posted it on the internet, it was like they're releasing COVID, like that people would have believed it. Even though I was just filming trucks down the interstate. Yeah. It would have worked.
Guaranteed.
It would have worked. People would have believed it.
Is Halliburton even still around? I haven't even heard about Halliburton.
Oh yeah, you got your horse dewormer and went forth too.
Are they still selling turkeys to the Orange? $30.
No, they're still a huge company apparently. Yeah, that's a big
Yeah, you can always tell.
world.
You can always tell the shady successful ones is one goes quiet.
I just
Not- notice-
Cheney to Halliburton, sorry.
Not just the corporations. Notice all these celebrities, right? This vast amount of celebrities that are speaking. You've got all these people talking about this and that and everything, whatever the fuck. But look at all of these very famous people that we all grew up seeing that disappeared. They don't have a word to say about anything right now. Nothing to say about anything. And a lot of them, if you look at years ago when we were coming up, that footage, you got to dig to find it. And they were talking things or agreeing with people or hanging out with people or whatever the hell that would have them reamed up and down right now.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm not going to sit here and throw out examples because I ain't worried about all that shit. But
Stanley
it's-
Kubrick tried to warn
Let
us
me,
about all that shit.
yes, he
I'll be
did.
back in about 10 or 15 minutes.
Pretty cool, brother.
I back to what you're saying, me like. Not only do these people not have any opinions to share right now, unless it is completely copacetic with the existing popular opinion. Not only that, but out of fear, they will distance and remove themselves from anyone who have opinions. It's like you cannot even be in association with someone that
Well, it's like
speaks a mind.
It's self-censorship because we've gotten to a point where there's not a big difference between a celebrity and a corporation because they are responsible for the livelihood of thousands of other people that work for them or their ad agencies or whatever you have it. And so they got to toe the line. If you're in a
Well,
if you have the
That's also the idea of the the corporation and yada yada, their responsibility, that's pretty much saying that the human populace don't have a responsibility of their own. And as far as I'm concerned, corporations don't have a fucking thing to do but what a corporation does. It's a business that's there to make money.
Might be happening.
What you said is true.
Yeah, so yeah, but you're right. There, a lot of people are afraid to say something because they don't want to lose their platform. They don't want to lose their money. They don't want to lose their influence.
Well, Wes, I've lost friends because I have a show where I specifically do that.
It
where I
goes more than
specifically talk about that
corporations.
shit. And people
I completely understand.
people without any balls are afraid to have any, not even just come on the show, have any association with me in general because of people I've had on my show. Not even to me.
Well, they're not worth your time if that's the case.
No, I know. I'm not stressed about it, but yeah, no, I'm just illustrating the point you're making, Wes. It's very real.
Yeah, it's part of the point that Alex bringing up initially
really
about that.
That's kind of where people need to be. I mean, regardless of your stance on anything, you have to be able to get out and say it. If you're afraid of the consequence for what you're about to say, then your opinion really worth.
Well, that's just it.
If you can't say fuck it and just say your opinion, then your opinion ain't or shit.
Exactly.
And you know what's funny, Wes? All that take issue with me for speaking my mind, all of their art sucks. They're not artists.
Hey, Alex, all the Christians that take issue with me for speaking my mind, all of their religion sucks.
Straight up.
And all this sucking, I got nothing.
You got nothing or nothing?
No, I don't got nothing. Either.
Damn.
Damn.
That's harsh.
It's hard.
You know, it's really funny when it's an artist too, because like, okay, if you're not willing to speak your mind and an opinion, like just in a conversation, I know you're not saying anything useful in your art. I know you're not breaking any boundaries in your art. If you can't even be real with me in a conversation.
Yeah. Well, that's a bummer, man, but I don't think it's something that you should be worried about.
I'm not.
I think if you're not like pushing people's buttons, then you're not doing the right thing.
No, we good. We gravy. That's just part of the process.
Free thinking will always be provocative.
That's just fuel that's going in the fucking tank to make this ship fly faster and higher.
And I mean, and that's people talking shit, saying things about me that gets them here and watch the show. So
there's a connection between all those people with fame, like that jumped out of any kind of political agenda that opposes the establishment, to the 2011 or whatever Supreme Court case of Citizens United, where they determined that corporations were people and had the rights of individuals, so the Constitution applied to corporations.
Yeah, that is kind of
money was a form of free speech.
Yep.
Because it legalized all of this money to influence and control not just corporations but politicians, and individuals, like in a corporation. These people control the media. Like,
right. Well, it all comes back. This is the idea right here, and it's so right on the fucking surface. It goes, well, it's this, it's that, it's yada yada, and I'll go back to the banks, and everybody's like, well, yeah, the bank. Even more simple. Currency. The American U.S. dollar. You cannot do anything without it, regardless of your regardless of what you decide to do, this or that, yada yada. If you're a major fucking country somewhere and you decide, I don't want to fuck with the U.S. dollar, guess what? We all know it fucking happens to you. So that's what it boils down to. There's a certain, and this is me ranting on my shit again. There's no certain level of we need this to work out, because when you back up from this, we need the government to step in and at least do this, because when you back up from that, they're only stepping in to fix what they already fucked up, and that's money. If we're on barter and trade, it would be unnecessary. Free market means 1-to-1, no third party.
Yep.
With everything, every decision you make in your life, from where
Mark always really one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If I
I don't deny that we should have a free market, but the idea of the United States capitalist free market is always very one-sided.
Yeah, calling it a free market is kind of
It's
a
not.
stretch.
It's more than a stretch. We're not a free market.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
what's so form and fashion?
That would be nice.
Bitcoin was working on it until the SEC started trading it.
Uncle Sam's got
Let nothing happen.
to make his little slice. If I'm gonna sell some potatoes to Neef, he wants potatoes.
Yeah.
He got to get his cut. He's the biggest dog on the block always.
I mean,
I
so
think it's fucking when, like, yeah, they're like, well, why don't you just build your own this and that and the other? And it's like, but then you build your own little app or whatever, and then it's like Apple's like, no, you're not allowed to have your app on our platform. It's like, well, I did what I'm supposed to do, and now you're just saying I'm not allowed to.
Or you make a YouTube channel and it's not okay, whatever.
It's okay for YouTube because it's not what they want.
Not okay for X, Y, and Z advertising or what have you.
Oh yeah, it's got to be advertiser print. That's
Right.
all it is.
Got to advertise print.
But as long as it's a private,
That's if you choose to monetize.
right?
yeah.
Well,
And that's the thing is, we're talking about broadcasting, which I was talking about this earlier today. Once FCC, a little thing called the FCC, the minute we learned how to broadcast, the government stepped in and said the FCC is regulating this. Every bit of information we've ever got, including this, Alice, has been regulated by outlet. So, like Protege said, the media is on, so know where you get yours from.
Man, I don't know if it's just my screen, but your shadow Neef looks like some Tibetan dark energy shit.
It's causing.
Anybody else see that?
Yeah, it's causing. I can see it, and I'm right next to him. It's actually causing spatial distortion.
Yeah. I've been meditating and like exercised that shit for me before. I'm like, it's kind of weird to see it on film.
I had a pretty interesting evening. I was spiritually cleansing a little bit last night.
Yeah.
So.
What was that about?
Huh?
That's you.
Just every now and again, you got to maintenance.
General upkeep.
I had some birds like flying up and down the whole like length of this creek I was meditating by today, and they were making a sound like it sounded like crickets sort of, but a high pitched frequency, just like I didn't think it was a bird. I had to like really, and they were so fast, and they were coming like a quarter of a mile in a couple of seconds. It was the most bizarre. It was kind of a blue color though. They did like 3 laps past me, and it was scary like a movie.
Nice.
Wow.
All right,
There's
so
my energy story.
we probably only have like 5 more minutes on the podcast because we're using actual light to
Oh, gotcha.
Y'all in the car?
About to be dropping down behind these trees, so we got a few more minutes left. So
hit some hard topics.
yeah. Why don't
Hard
you
topics.
send some questions our way or something like that? We'll put us on the hot seat.
Some serious
I mean,
Okay.
I don't. That wasn't. I didn't.
So when you know you violate your conscience and do evil, how do you live with that?
There you go.
I lay on my pillow and I put my hands like this and I close my eyes.
Well, I mean,
Now, like
if you do that, you have to ask forgiveness.
Yeah, because I don't even give a shit.
What was the question again, Danny?
Can you
What was that question again?
I said when you knowingly do evil and violate your conscience, how do you live with it?
Well,
Trying to get
what-
real.
My question. See, I just don't even do that.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
I don't understand how do I live with it. I have to.
I'm get
I
up.
must.
I walk the way of Grandma's spider. The way of Grandma's spider, and she leads the light. So when I put my head to bed, I have a clear conscience. And you say, do I ever do anything wrong? I feel bad about? No.
I write it off as tundra law, baby.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. Me too, Neve.
I didn't have a brain, so it's kind of lame.
Dude, we got real quick.
Yep.
That was a good question, though. Yeah, last time I was
Y'all had gone to the darkness like real
last
quick.
time I was on, Alex hit me with these like super existential, like, out there questions, and I had to be really careful with what I was trying to say.
Well,
I was like, man, I gotta answer this
Yeah.
to because like
I'm about to expose myself for the devil swine. I really am. Shit.
Do you guys?
Well,
okay.
anytime we have you
All right.
specifically sat down, you're gonna get the questions. You always get those questions.
Okay. Do you guys think aliens fucked monkeys?
Aliens fuck monkeys?
somebody's definitely fucked a monkey at some point.
No, I mean like
Proverbially, scientifically,
let me get more
DNA
specific.
stripping, Anunnaki, all of that.
Do you think they mated with chimps?
Probably not. If they were actually so intelligent and they may have artificially inseminated one, but they didn't fuck it. They know better than that.
Somebody fucked a monkey. They got off in a monkey. I don't give a shit.
Somebody fucked a monkey just to do it for sure. That
Just on
definitely
principle.
I'd be too scared
exactly.
of a monkey, honestly.
Yeah, no, you should definitely be scared.
They're
Came
preparing
on to
to
you.
rip your face off and like you hold the skin of your face laughing.
Yeah.
Well, there was a Dave Chappelle joke about that where he was like, I just had a monkey I could have sex with. I would never go out do anything. People call him up. Dave, you want to go to the bar tonight? Man, I'm just gonna stay at home. Chill with my monkey.
That sounds like
Let's go kick with my monkey.
That was
that sounds correct.
that was the AIDS bit he did because he was talking about the first person that must have had sex with a chimp and then had sex with a person.
Because
He's like-
that's where AIDS supposedly came.
He's like people.
It definitely did it.
Basically, somebody got told, "Man, you ain't
Right.
gonna go fuck no monkey."
Right,
And
but
somebody
Dave-
say, "Say I won't. Say I
Yes,
won't."
but Dave Chappelle was making a joke about it, and he was saying that, like, man, how you gonna fuck monkeys and fuck people? It's like the guy,
You gotta
whoever's out there
pick one.
fucking monkeys, you have to pick. Yeah, you have to pick one.
He's got to be sitting around like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
You-
Out of- I'm- What? But that's the idea. I like that thought though. Out of principle, because that's the human challenge. I guarantee you, the weirdest shit happened because someone told somebody else, "You ain't gonna do that."
Mhm.
I bet you won't.
And it probably happened.
I bet you won't.
A lady just got involved for making out with a monkey at a zoo, and it was like she was like, "We're in love," and she'd go up to the thing and like make out with it, and she got banned from the zoo. Yeah, I just read that.
Have you seen some of these monkeys nowadays? Like they be out here coming on hard for you, man.
You know, that's
Turn that down.
Jesse. I can always count on you to tell the hard hitting truth, the stuff that no one else wants to say,
I mean,
the stuff that I was
I'm
thinking.
out.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm thinking it. He just says it.
Yeah.
You know.
Dingo, we're talking
All right, guys, I'm
about
out here. No, I'm just kidding.
Dingo. We're talking about how attractive we find primates.
How these days they're just out here, you know.
Like, silver gorillas, chimpanzees,
That
orangutans.
back arch, man. That back arch. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
No.
we need a woman's opinion on how attractive monkeys are. I don't think they're very sexy.
Those square shoulders.
They're not very
that-
feminine.
That's
None of them really have, except for like gorillas, like none of them really have that booty. So like, I feel like if I were hairier, I'd
What about the
probably get
baboon?
along. Yeah, baboon's got booty. Yeah,
Baboon got nothing but
like
booty.
the no ass is very common ones, like chimps and things like that. I'd probably get along well in that one.
Well, see, I'm a big guy and typically have nice tits, so
I think we can all agree. Hate's good. If you're a tit guy, hate's bad.
Mm.
I'm feeling that. I'm gonna say something. No, it don't make to me. I'm not into primates.
Okay.
Okay, so
Not me either. I'm wondering about the fruitarian people I know.
Hey, speaking of fruit-
Alex, there's a way aliens fuck the monkey because we're sitting here having a serious debate about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and
And the fucking aliens showed up, they're like, okay.
like more feasible than we,
But you never know.
Human, definitely
But you
would.
never know. Maybe it was like some party animal young
What?
aliens and shit. They're like, dude, I bet you won't go fuck one of them human things.
Wes, I
They,
would,
they were
I
running
bet-
Amish aliens on Rumspringa. You know? Wild oats.
I'm sure the aliens are like frat boys too. They'll just like fuck them.
Dude, let's go fly.
Fucking change the entire evolutionary process of
Hello?
another planet.
dude, let's go buy a flight planet over there. You know, the one that's got shit growing on it and like living things. They got some like pretty much, you know, like kind of like us creatures, man. You can bang them all day, dude.
That I love that that's what we're talking about now, because that's not even what I meant when I said like, do you guys think alien monkeys?
Yes, it was.
I meant like
Start the human race, right?
yes,
So what
yes.
you're saying is
Are we
that
the
what
real?
cause the human race? Alex,
Yes.
is what you're saying. You're saying rape is why we're all here.
That's just like shit that Greek guy.
Extraterrestrial genetic
It is kind of dang to ask for a question to be asked at a table this full. That's okay. I don't think we're
Hey,
scaring
Alex.
Alice too much.
Yeah.
How are you
Monday
doing,
afternoon
Alice?
for Alice over here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the YouTube chat, Alex. I don't know if anybody's.
Oh, I haven't checked it in.
Wyatt's,
we tend to-
expressing some. Looking to garner your attention, sir. I'm just doing my part.
Let me.
He's an interesting fellow. I don't know if you ever thought about having him on a podcast, but he's.
Young Wyatt.
Yeah. He'd definitely be a fun
Shout
guest
out
to have on.
Wyatt.
Haven't taken a look at the chat in a sec. Let me pull it up.
Look at you, man.
We try to.
You need a moderator.
Yeah.
Well,
American
since we're
oversized Sonic beverage.
well,
I'm not used to doing this live. Jesse.
Yeah, since we're doing the live tea party thing, we tend to not, you know.
True.
I'm usually not back behind something, looking up crap and yelling at Alex, you know, and kicking him in the knee.
You're
under
not in the
table.
production chair.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
There was something I was gonna bring up, and now I've lost it. I can't remember.
that's the whole point, Alice.
Um.
That's why you follow the white rabbit down
Oh,
here. He had a point to bring up. There he goes.
Well, this is the point I was thinking of, but here's another one.
Well, here's to another point.
Just before I forget again, this is totally irrelevant to anything we're talking about, but I want to plug Holistic Connections. Was that the name of the
Holistic Connection, I believe, is actually
the Holistic Connections?
I believe that the Holistic Connection. There's one I saw in Nashville location on 8th Avenue and in Brentwood, I believe.
Yeah. The owner of the Holistic Connections, Jake, he's a really cool. It's a dab bar. They do different CBDs and Delta 8, Delta 9, things like that.
I live pretty close to there, so I'm actually
okay.
My buddy went there the other day and told me that it was pretty awesome.
Right on. Yeah, local owners. It's really cool vibe in there. I want to plug that because we really like local business.
Local support, man. It's about the local support.
Man. I'm gonna go actually try and check them out at some point.
Yeah, man. They got fire dabs in there.
You gotta buy a water pipe.
It's a tobacco pipe.
A water pipe.
Oh, the one I went to, they didn't. I don't
Voss and
think they had
Pfeiffer.
pipes. They might have had pipes. Maybe I wasn't looking.
Well,
I
you
wouldn't
know.
I guess Delta 8
Well, Alice, we don't know enough about the place to really.
Yeah.
You know.
You're getting into. I don't know.
You go down there and check them out, Alice.
Yeah.
You know, you might
You
catch
tell
us.
Their oil burner, huh?
So, on to the other thing that you were wanting to bring up
That I can't remember.
that you can't remember.
It'll come back to me.
It'll come back. It'll come back around to
Have you guys?
How about them Cowboys? No,
the Cowboys.
Oh boy.
I've been in Dallas for the last week. I just got back from Dallas.
Oh.
like 2 days ago.
There we go. Danny, you just saw the fucking. You just got back from Waco, Texas, and went to the
Waco.
fucking thing.
nice.
So-
I had to go. I had to chant the top bar.
Yeah,
So
you-
I actually went to the Branch Davidian spot. Yeah.
All right, tell Alice about it.
Oh man. Okay, so these people are heavily abused, psycho, fucking like occult. Not a cult, but cult. Like as bad as cult Christianity can get. Like inbred, having lots of kids, fucking like government conspiracies. Like it was creepy as fuck, man. Just honestly, like, but they were neat. They were meditating in pyramids too. Christians that have like little pyramids to meditate in, made out of PVC pipe. Like
that'd be hot.
Hey, man.
It's strange.
I didn't know that Christians are ripping off my groove.
Meditating in pyramids.
Yeah.
No, like,
We're not gonna-
so
but I'm not gonna get into that.
when I saw it, and I
Now-
knew it was
now-
for
PVC
meditating.
pyramids are so Texas.
Now dig this. Now dig this. Speaking of some wacko weird cats that decided to like, holt up in a spot.
That's exactly what
Some of us are old enough to remember watching that occur. And in retrospect, now that we're all older and we get to look and realize how wonderful our government agencies are, what do you think about the ATF's response?
Awful.
Does anyone think what happened in Waco was constitutional or justified?
It was satanic as fuck, man. They unleashed the devil, man. Like they let some Nazi engineers of death like have a good time with those people. That's what I think.
Possible.
Now, Koresh actually befriended the initial ATF agent who went in there. They rented a ranch house across from the place. This is back when I was a kid down in Dallas. They rented the place across from, where the Branch Davidian conclave was. They went in there. They befriended them. David Koresh brought him in there, offered him some beer, like real bizarre shit.
He was changing automatic rifles because inherited some stockpile into regular rifles.
Yeah. They bought a addition to the AK-47 that let bump fire the rifle from your hip, and it had like a spring mechanism that when you triggered it, it would go with a semi-automatic rifle. Anyway.
Yeah, and he was removing those springs.
And that's what triggered the investigation from a UPS worker finding the mechanisms for the AK-47 edition in one of their shipments.
Interesting.
That's fucking crazy.
And that's what allowed the ATF to come in. Initially, the initial ATF person who came in there befriended them, and he actually sort of got brainwashed. He had to be brought out by the ATF, and that's why they brought the FBI in. And when they brought the FBI in, it became a fucking clusterfuck.
The Phoebe
Tanks came and ran over David Koresh's
House.
Camaro and his.
They shot fire into the fucking compound and cooked everybody.
Dude, the branch divisions that are still operating are like
and then after
heavily
they had to make up a bunch of shit.
Oh, they still have people operating?
Yeah, it's a branch division.
I thought they all got cooked.
No, they are still religious
Yeah,
nut
they're still
jobs
there.
on the property, like
Oh well.
propagating.
Well, that was the old joke. What does Waco stand for?
I don't know. Like I went to Waco when I was a little kid. It stands for stupid little parades and.
Oh, I meant the word.
Wacko.
Waco. Euphemism.
What
Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that joke. God damn, I'm.
you told me the other day, and I still don't remember.
What a cookout.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Horrible. My kind of humor.
I'll
David
give you that out of Misfits.
He's always
It's proof that
these acronyms from people like, hey, what does this acronym stand for? I always put people on the spot, and you're like, I don't fucking know. Like,
What kind of acronym? I don't know.
Well, obviously that's a joke.
So
Yes, Murdock, y'all live in Dallas? Is that what y'all were saying?
no, he's from there, and we both live in and around Nashville.
I'm
Oh,
from
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have family from Waco. Family was there during the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
David
This
Koresh
is
was
nice.
bad. He was bad. He was a cold
Yeah, he's
dude.
bad.
But half of the things they said weren't true. The thing with the kids, probably not true. The thing with the guns, halfway true.
Yeah.
Well, they have to develop it in a lot of ways to
But
make it sound more
when they
justified.
Yeah, but when they fucked it up so bad, they had to embellish the guns. They had to embellish the thing. We're like, yeah, he had multiple multiple wives. He had kids, multiple wives. Members of church, like he was. Oh, okay, you got a wife. Well, that's my wife now. Your kids, their kids now. Yeah, I fucked up.
Even if all that's true, why does
Well,
it?
I mean, they ain't buzz doors in Utah, are they?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what does it matter?
What it is proof of, what we all learn from it is that two wrongs make a really fucked up joke for the rest of the history.
I'm not justifying what he did. He was.
No, he was definitely he was sick.
Fucked up as they made him to.
I mean,
but killing 73 people over it, like, nah, I don't think so.
frankly, I don't give a what you're doing in the privacy of your home with your cult.
Right.
If
Over a guy who just had a cult.
Yeah.
That was it.
Well, once they killed a few ants and had him in the house, they were like, y'all have to come out the house. That was a breakdown of the whole thing. Like, you have to come out. They're like, no, okay.
Once they killed
you
some
all.
camp agents, that was it. That was it.
Well,
You're going to be a child molester. You're going to have a meth lab. You're going to have rocket launchers.
Yeah, if it would have been 10
Weapons
years
of mass destruction.
You're going to be harboring aliens that
Fuck
monkeys.
If I was in
Where am I monkey?
if I was-
CNN special report.
Scenario.
You know, they say he was harboring monkeys who were raping aliens.
Revenge, rape,
Sexually predatory primates.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
He had some SPPs on site. Sexually predatory primates. He has,
Particularly predatory primate outside, but
Well-
children.
Well, you know, what's cracking me up these days is the cults that are popping up that are like these mild businessy cults, you know, that are popping up, and it's just under the radar because it doesn't seem like that. You see people getting wrapped up into the shit, and you're like, man, that mind frame that you got running is kind of,
so,
you know.
Talking about Branch Davidians and Waco reminded about what I wanted to bring up. It has come to my attention, and let me know if you guys have heard of this before. There's a cult based out of Wood called the Way Down Fellowship Church. This is a nationwide cult. It's based out of Brentwood, Tennessee. It is a Christian weight loss cult. It is a Christian
Well, how
diet.
do you know that? How do you know that's a cult? First off?
Jesus can make you lose weight, y'all.
What cracks me
Well,
up,
how do you-
that's disappointing because the way down sounds cool, but that's not cool.
the way up is the way down.
Wes, how do you define cult?
Anything can make you
Hold
lose
on,
weight.
hold on,
I
hold
mean,
on.
that doesn't surprise me because there was that OnlyFans girl that came out that said God told her to show her tits and ass for money.
People will use justifications for all kinds of things. But my question was, well, tell me more about this. Well, I'm actually kind of interested.
I want to know
Well,
about the dance
Yes.
myself.
Yeah. So she asked me not to like give any names or anything.
Right.
But I was speaking to someone at work that has family in this cult. Her son is in a leadership position. He married into the cult, and he's like pretty high up.
Wow.
They're a nationwide cult. They have thousands of members. They're based out of Brentwood.
For now.
And if you look them up, one of the first things you're gonna see when you Google them, there's a scandal. 2 members of this cult trapped their son in a box in a chest, and then wrapped it around it, and he suffocated to death.
Fuck.
For like weight loss?
They're really.
$20 Doritos. Get the fucking box.
Hey, is this the same as the Remnant Fellowship?
Yes. The Remnant Fellowship Church.
Okay.
Way down. You're right, Jesse. It's either the Remnant Fellowship Church or the Way Down Workshop. I call it.
I mean,
you can
that,
fit.
I,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
That's pointing
You're
because
talking with kids, and that's right down the road from me, and my y'all are making me want to go taxi driver and shit right now.
I want to go show somebody the way down.
No, this is a serious because like they aren't
Jesus.
they killed a fucking kid. This is really serious.
Yeah.
This is based in Brentwood. It's right here. So I wanted to make Alice aware of that for one thing.
They killed a kid. Was it in Tennessee? It was the Brentwood people, or was it somewhere else?
I probably should have had the stuff in front of me when I brought it up. 1 second.
So I found something. There's something on IMDb called The Way Down. It's a miniseries that was released this year. I don't have any like.
Remnant Fellowship Church would be easier probably, or Way Down Work. Oh, I'm sorry, Jesse.
WGWorkshop.com.
Jesse, it's I should have elaborated. It's WEIGH WAY.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Gwen Shamblin Lara. You can. This is their guru leader. It's a name it's public domain, so I mean it's readily available. But Gwen Shamblin Lara.
Yeah.
Is the I guess person of interest.
Yeah.
I love how it's just
this.
it's centered around weight loss, like of all things.
Yeah, that's
Like
weird.
it's centered around. It's like weight loss. It's going to be how we're
That's
gonna.
how. Yeah. God don't want no fatties.
The devil-
Like, what the
Hey,
fuck?
hey, speaking of that, Alex, you look like you lost a little weight, bro.
Oh, thanks, man.
You
Yeah.
look like you're looking in pretty good shape, man.
You
I
do
appreciate
look
it.
good. Part of the goal.
Talk about your
This
friends
is
over there,
the
bro.
plan.
Yeah. This is
He told me about it. I was like, dude, that's a dope ass idea. So I started one up real quick. You know.
welcome to the Satanist
Yeah, but it's really the way down.
Way Down.
So, have you guys ever been to like Church of Scientology ever?
I haven't been.
Hubbard was connected to Crowley. I just
Oh
Yeah, I drive by there and they were closed. And they had an open banner that said, "Come on in. Are you curious?" And I was like, I mean, not curious enough to not go to work. So
hold on. I actually played a set at a church there at one of the one here in Nashville.
which one? The old school on Chestnut? You talking about over on Chestnut?
It's on 8th or 12th Avenue. I believe.
8th and Chestnut. I think it's 8th and
Yeah.
Chestnut. Yep.
I played there. It was a long time. It was like around 2010 or 11, I think. So it was a long, long time ago.
I hear they're real friendly people.
No, well, they are at first. So actually, I've been to 3 different churches of
Most-
Scientology.
Most-
I've been to one in Tampa, St. Louis, and the one here in Nashville. And it was kind of a thing we did on tour. It was like just like on a like we were just look around a city. We're like find one, and the first time we went to one, we just like made a bunch of fake names, and they give you the personality test, like the audit or whatever. And we just like said a bunch of fucked up shit and just fucked with the people, and they kind of know when you're fucking with them. But so actually, one of my buddies was like trying to date this girl that was like worked at the church here in Nashville, like way back. And she was like, "Well, you're friends playing music, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why don't you and your friends like come play the show?" And we were like, "All right, let's just fucking go. This could be fun." You know what I mean? And it was so fucking weird. And actually, the people were like pretty chill, but like, yeah, they will. If you give them any bit of information at all, you're on their mailing list. They'll send you fucking literature in the mail. They will harass like the living shit. So it was weird.
Show up at your work, you know.
They will. No, yeah, they will show up at your work. But it was fun. Like we.
Hey,
actually
really?
did, like, it was like it wasn't like playing.
I put them up at work.
But,
Hey, came by to see if you're interested. I'm not quite interested yet, but if you handle this shit for me, it might sway me. I'm gonna hit my car. Let me know when you're done.
Yeah, right back. They're done with those 10,000 emails.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
gonna.
it was weird, man. It was weird as fuck. But so that was the closest experience I had to, I guess, any cult religion like that.
Nah, they're a good one. That's like they're the real deal. Like you can pay your way to the top.
We should.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing
Danny,
about them. At least they're wide open about it.
Danny, you had a great fucking idea. Oh my god, we should rank cults. Like make a tier list.
Oh,
That-
Like
Okay.
a flow chart, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could come up with some parameters.
Yeah,
for,
what are
like,
the
how to get
metrics?
more points.
What are the metrics for measuring them on?
You know,
Yeah.
directness, how they are,
Reach.
How
read,
smooth they are.
yeah,
How much they get away with
yeah,
the
money.
money.
economics. Money's got to be a factor. We got to have, you know, who's making the most.
I like the extent people play themselves for the cult.
Right.
Yeah.
Has to be a factor.
So Alex, apparently this Way Down thing has got a documentary airing on HBO Max at the end of September.
Yeah, John
Oh,
Legend,
shit.
right? I think
Did HBO Max do the Nexium, or did somebody else do the Nexium fucking documentary?
I think that was Netflix.
Netflix. Yeah.
That's something that they would be into. So yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
It's the same shit, different face.
I definitely want to see that documentary.
I watched a little bit of it. It's pretty fucking fucked up.
I think it's John Legend making the Way Down Fellowship Church one.
We should have a watch party for that, and then go sign up.
That'd be pretty
Right.
dope.
Go sign up for it. Let's all go sign up for the
do
Way
watch
Down.
parties, and all the people that participate have to go sign up.
Can I also just say, like,
Can we all if we sign up, we all need to show up at the same time and ask us to chat.
Oh hell yeah!
That's got.
I got to wait till I get in better shape. I've been working out more, so I got to show up like nice and pretty cut, you know, already, and be like, I really need. I'm just.
I just watched this awesome documentary, and I just want to know where to sign up.
I guess.
This documentary was so informative.
Hey, y'all were like having orgies and shit with
Yeah.
six girls.
It's like, what's up with this shit, man? Sound like a fucking.
Been trying to drop this weight since COVID, man. Can you help me out here?
I can't, but
Like,
Jesus
the
can.
last one I was in just didn't really work out, so I feel like
Yeah, right.
new cult to join.
Yeah.
This one looked good.
I'm really looking to lose myself in the power of another.
I want to go ahead and try to apply for a higher position by telling them I have previous experience with other cults. You know,
I drank a
Just
lot
a
of
resume.
I mean, just make up some other ones that I like started. Well, they're not around anymore, but I started them. You remember those guys? And then there was the such.
You
and such-
wouldn't remember them because it was a really good cult.
You know, you wouldn't remember them because
You've never heard of
you've
them.
never heard of them.
That's how good of a cult it was.
I've been in a lot of cults, both as a leader and as a follower. You get paid more as a leader.
Yeah.
You have more fun as a follower.
Oh yeah.
They're all dead now, but it's okay. It's fine.
Said I got sick drinking cat's blood and died on Alistair Crowley's couch.
Can I also just want to say the Way Down.
What was that?
I was just gonna say, also a weight loss cult is like the most like Brentwood board
I was
house.
gonna say, yeah. How much more white girl Brentwood did you get?
Yeah.
You look up Brentwood Karen.
That's
It's
kinda
synonymous.
And he wants me to look.
Housewives of Brentwood, Tennessee.
Now it sounds the most cultish thing I've heard in
It's the Brentwood Karen cult.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really
at
just.
first you're like, nah, that's some bullshit. But then you're like, oh, man.
No,
it's really
and
just
dude.
Craig
Like I should have meetings.
It's the Jack Jenny Craig.
the cult of Karen.
It's the Brentwood Karen cult.
It's Karen, the COK.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
There it is.
That's epic right there.
Figured it out.
You were cocking your life.
Yeah, they all love
Their
this
slogan.
acronym's cock. They all secretly just they half of them joined because it was.
The lady I was talking about whose son is in this church, she and that her daughter-in-law and like the rest of her family on that side, they'll like out to eat, they'll pray that they find hair in their food so they'll be less tempted to eat the food that they ordered.
See, I do that for a completely different reason.
Hair?
I do that for a completely different reason. I don't want to pay.
Why do we do why
I'm thinking the good Lord gonna grant me this food because I thanked him for it, and then like a cockroach gonna run across the wall, and I'm be like, I just checked. Thank you, Jesus.
Praise God.
Praise Lord. He provided our star.
Bring a little medicine bottle with dead flies in it. Just shake a couple in your food.
That's my holy water right there.
Everyone, all you gotta do is reach in your pocket and pull out some fucking lint, throw it in your food, and be like, "What is this?" Deal, and then it's you
Yeah,
feel
like
everyone's
like
done that.
Golden Girls, where they pour the pepper in the wine. Like, my wine's terrible.
That was classy. I remember that one.
Good episode.
It's a good one.
Thanks for reminding me how old I am.
Man, we Neith and I went down memory lane about some crazy news stories last time.
Oh,
And
yes.
We started.
I was there for that. Remember when you said rhythm section showed up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Neith, you're
Yeah.
not old. You're just experienced.
The
That's
last time I went to the Muse,
Thank you, sir.
a big punk band at me and my now wife, and they were like, "What are you going? You back there playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards?" And then, like after the show, they came up to us and they're like, "Hey, we got a keg out in the car. You want to come hit the keg?" Like, hell yeah!
So you're gonna have to turn a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
So that's my news story. So they basically told us fuck off, and then they came and gave us an offer.
That's
for a
how
keg.
that's successful punk rock shows have a light at the end of them.
Punk rock show.
A successful punk rock show back in the day would only worry me if it went over and no fight happened. It wouldn't be crazy, brutal fights all night like some of the hardcore shows and stuff.
Well, and if I remember right,
But the punk shows all night would be great, and by the end of the night, a couple dudes would be too drunk about something. They'd fight, but then they'd be drinking. They usually were a chick who would leave with somebody else and then would end up drinking by the end of the night anyway.
The worst fight. It's a fight, but the worst fight that I saw at the Muse that actually resulted in like a show getting canceled was the Agnostic Front show. Like
that was a show I saw in Arkansas, which was the gnarliest show I ever saw in my life.
right. So this is like I don't know. This might have been like the first time the Agnostic Front had played Nashville since probably the early 90s.
How old are you, Wes?
I'm 34.
Okay, wow.
Well, this
So when I was like,
04,
well, I think I had to have been. I mean, I was in high school at the time, but or maybe like just graduated or something like that.
Okay.
Well, I'm like so stoked to see the Agnostic Front, like hardcore legends, right? And so they literally show up and they play like 3 songs, and 2 meatheads just start like going to blows like in the pit, and not even just like your regular hardcore mosh or whatever. It was like they were going at it.
Yeah, scrapping.
And I was like, all right, stop. Jumped off, got into the crowd, broke up the fucking fight, picked up like, yeah, I didn't drive 17 hours to the show to see a fight.
which probably bullshit.
Sure.
I just came from Fayetteville, but
Well, I mean, he said, I don't know, I'm exaggerating, but he was like, I didn't drive X amount of hours for a fight. And then he was like, show's over. And just, it was done. And I was like, hey, that was pretty fucking cool, but like,
fuck you.
but that kind of sucks at the same time. It's like,
That's crazy thinking about like was back in the day where they're from. I mean, CBG was like,
Yeah.
Thunderdome. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
it's the hallway with the stage at the end of it, and that was, I mean,
Lucy's record shop was normal for people to go out of there with their face gushing
Yeah.
blood.
that's what I'm saying, right?
I mean,
So
you
for
had-
Roger to come
You had,
here, guess
I mean,
he
even
might
before
fucking
that,
do this.
we
well,
had,
they were probably sick of it. They were
Yeah.
probably sick at that point. They're like,
yeah, I mean,
no,
When you do it every day,
well, I mean, that's what he was bad. He was probably already tired anyway and didn't want to damn set, You got to think some of these bands, when I was running the place, we'd have bands come through. I remember, and I don't even think I was there for this. I was informed about this. Fortunately, I'm pretty certain I wasn't there because I'd probably gotten into it with the dude. Flock of Seagulls played.
Wow.
Yeah, but you remember, when you used to play in arenas, and now you're playing in the Muse. Don't get me wrong, love the club. That's my heart's in that place, but it's the Muse. All right, when you used to play arena shows, and now you're playing at the Muse, we appreciate that. But the last thing you need to say to the owners and the people running this rat hole club DIY club, underground club, is that you are unsatisfied because you played in major arenas, yada yada. Because you know what the answer to was? Well, look where you're playing now.
Yeah.
And they got no, and that super pretentious shit. And it's
not playing. It's not 1988.
No.
1998.
Well, and then on the other side of that, we got a lot of road bands that would come through that weren't big or anything, and they'd be like, "First time Music City, wow, where is everybody?" And I tell them, "Look, man, this is the hardest town to play in. This is brutal. You think it's Music City because you come here because it's music? Yeah, no." I said, everybody in your crowd is bands that are playing on your bill, and the guy walking through is just passing out flyers for his show.
I'm there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Alex, because he's one of the few that support the scene.
I'm there.
I was up until I wasn't needed to be there anymore, and I was needed elsewhere. So
Craziest thing song to use was Autumn Morning opening for Nile. And by the end of the show, a guy had his stomach split.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
From what?
Nazis invaded.
Oh fuck.
Nazis wanted to come out to see Nile, and the dude got his stomach like flayed, and he was talking to my buddy who was in Autumn Morning at the time. He was like, "Yeah, man, great set."
Wow.
And my buddy was like, "Logan, hey man, we got a situation here." Like,
Yeah.
what we
What Logan do? Did Logan panic or did he like rush to the hospital? What Logan do?
He was kind of like, "We need to get you an ambulance, man."
And did he call it like
No,
Logan
man,
was
that's
at
cool.
medical training. He was
Like,
Well,
dude
yeah.
fucked up
Yeah,
on
no, he's
heroin and
yeah, he
everything.
wasn't Logan had handled some shit, but he wasn't about to stitch me up in that place.
no. Well, I just meant
When-
he knew like
yeah, when we had
he was good.
when we had the flesh hangers come,
I was that's what I thought of when he said about the people being gutted. I was
Yeah,
like,
we
was
used
it an
to-
accident from the flesh hanger.
was to come. They used to put scaffolding up, and the scaffolding took up too much room, so they asked if they could put eye hooks in the ceiling, and nobody in town would let them do it, and we did. Eye hooks in our ceiling so they could hang directly from it and give us more crowd room.
Yeah.
And so Logan would stand up at the front with bleach and a towel and a couple people at the front to kind of just keep everybody back. And he would wipe any blood off the floor, but he had the piercing studio and he burped the skin and he McClave the needles and all that shit up there. So they really liked coming to the place. They used to come there all the time. Some of the wildest shows I ever did were like black metal shows with fucking a couple hanging on either side of the stage from their flesh,
Only like two of them. And
Yeah, just
cool as fuck. It was
yeah.
weird.
room. I'm talking about the whole place is packed, feet
One of
and
the ones
hands
that
everywhere.
I'm talking about neat was like I played one, and it was like one of the punk rock fests. It was like I think it was the punk rock part, something like that. And our shitty band played, and the people were hanging, and I can't remember if it was the scaffolds or they're hanging from the roof. All I remember was that this chick kept bumping into me, like dangling. And I like play my stupid guitar, and I'm like,
You talking about punk rock party was wasn't at the Muse. The punk rock party a while back.
It was either that or it was like one of those all-day punk fest things that started early and would go all night.
The only well, there's a couple of spots people could have. 'Cause it was so high up there. There was no really. We had lighting, but we had to keep people off of that because it would come down. Like, look, y'all.
No, this is kind of ghetto.
Yeah, it's like, look, I barely trust that holding that lighting rig up. You don't want to bring the whole thing down on you and your buddy and everybody else down. And y'all ever heard of Foxy Shazam?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Foxy
well, they when they were just starting off, they played us a couple times. They really loved playing there. And I really love that band. They were great. And I felt so bad because I thought I broke their front man. He
broke the front.
I almost thought I did. He was really cool about it, and it wasn't intentional. They were playing. It was one of their first or second shows at our club, and it wasn't as packed as you would expect it to be. It was kind of but I mean, the energy was insane. He was all over the place, off the stage, running around. It was a phenomenal show. But then he runs up and he jumps up and he grabs the lighting rig that was in the middle. It was actually, I think, a projector rig.
I think I remember hearing about this because I didn't go to that show. But I think
yeah, and he's hanging and he's just kind of swinging there, you know. And and Logan's on the floor, and Logan goes running over there and grabs him and starts kind of tugging on him, not aggressively, but he's like, dude, let go, because we don't want him to come down with it all. And I come running out of the booth, and Logan's trying to, like, I guess, kind of lift him to keep the weight off and be like, come on, dude. And he's not doing it because he's just the energy of that band, you know. And he's just hanging there. So I run over and I tap Logan. I'm like, watch out. And I grab his legs and I start to turn him, like not fast, just kind of start turning him slow. So he's like having to start doing this, I imagine. And I'm like, come on, man, you got to let. And when he lets go, he doesn't buckle his knees and he falls straight back. And I was like, oh my God, I just killed the singer. And he lays there and he opens, on his back. And he opens his eyes and he looks straight up, and me and Logan are both like down there. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You know, we didn't want the lighting rig that. And he looks up and he looks around and he goes, oh, it's fine, y'all. You know what? I'm great, you know. And then bam, right back into the show. It was insane.
Had a concussion.
Yeah, I think the way he hit, he was all right because he was such an acrobat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, he didn't really look stunned, because the way he went down wasn't as bad. It looked a lot worse to me when it happened, you know. But I really think, you know, I'm sure it stunned him. I think he was a little more prepared than he expected. Because talk about a showman, you know.
First time a move like that.
Yeah, I felt so bad, but I was like, you know, it's one of those positions that you're like, look, I would have felt worse if the whole lighting rig came down on him, you know, 5 kids underneath, you know.
Yeah, probably would have been a lot worse.
Would have been a whole lot worse situation. So, you know, I mean, it's a memorable story, and it was a great freaking show, you know.
Yeah.
And everybody was happy.
Yeah, it's good shit, man. Good times for sure.
Crazy.
My favorite thing, when you walked in the Muse and you wanted to go to the bar, they just had a yellow rope, like the kind of rope you'd buy from, like, you know, like just at the farm store, just that yellow rope, and that was the bar.
Well, that was a certain period of time because of the law.
It's like everything behind this yellow rope is the bar, and everything else is what
when we first got our beer license, we had to specify, because up front was actually not the Muse. Up front was what was called Kung Fu Coffee, and they were 2 separate businesses. Yeah. They were just joined together. And when we got a beer license, we couldn't do all ages the same way. And if we did an all age show, we'd have to put a rope out and say, this is the 21 and up drinking area.
Well, you know,
that's going to stop all problems from happening.
Well, basically what it was that we weren't allowed to open serve, and you were standing right there by the bar. So it really wasn't that big of an issue because most of our all ages shows, kids weren't up there trying to drink. They're mostly straight edgers and shit. So
right, mostly
and they're not paying bar prices for beer. I didn't when I was fucking 17, 18. I wasn't buying beer at a bar before I went to the show. Getting tagged in a pot and going in.
But, you know, I came in here from Dallas. We had 18 and over. I mean, 21 and over. I came to Nashville, and they had a yellow rope.
Yep, that was us. We pushed the we tested regulations when it came to about everything. We ended up moving the door up front because we used to take the door at the Muse door. Then we started taking the door exclusively at the front door of the Kung Fu Coffee. So then if we had an all ages show, we could just seal the bar and not serve, or X people's hands if we needed to. That's where the straight edge X comes from. Is you're underage and a club and you can't drink. And so people would do that to go ahead and say, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm not drinking or doing anything. You know, so it wasn't that big of a deal because people don't realize, like I'm saying, no 16, 17-year-old wants to spend $5 on dank beer.
I mean, that's like your entire allowance. Like,
Right,
why just
you
like
know.
all the fucking beer.
They're going to, they all pitched in, and their buddy went and got a cheap bottle, and they out there sipping on it in the day behind the dumpster.
Yeah, one time I showed up to some show, and I got there early. I don't remember. I don't think I was playing either. I was just going to. There's some band I went to go see, and I drove by myself. It was one of the first. I had my own car, so I was like 17, maybe 18. And I pull up and I park behind the Muse by the dumpster. Not where there wasn't a parking lot. It was just like a gravel next to an alley next to and right underneath one of those big ass billboards. And so I get out of the car, I look at my car, I turn around, and there's 3 homeless dudes like right behind me, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, I'm good. And he's like, "Hey, do you see that guy way over there?" And there was a 4th homeless guy like over the porno shop. And I was like, "Yeah, I see him." And he was like, "Hey, he's got a."
Oh, that's an adult bookstore, Wes. It's not a porno shop. It's a bookstore.
Right, that's what it was. Well, there's a homeboy was over there, and they're like, "Hey, he wants to sell you a knife."
Of course he
And I
does.
was like, "Sweet, I want it.
He wants to stab you to death.
Give me your fucking. Let me just take your knife from you. I will do that." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm good." And I just like, and I ran inside and like pissed my pants or something.
You bought the knife?
No.
Did you ever see the bleached out cowboy down there? Little cowboy.
Cowboy.
Style cowboy?
Yeah, there's the bleached. He was. I mean, this little white dude, completely like white cowboy duds. Okay, down the back alley around the way. I used to see him as my old lady when I was working there. The chick I was seeing at the time lived back over off of 8th, so I would come back way up to the Muse, and I'd come up the back road, and of course I'd see our local corner crack dealer. The local business rep, almost to the point where we nod at each other like it's the same dude you see going to work every morning, and he's going to work, and you're just kind of like, "Hey, Jim. Hey, Bob." Literally, like he pimped that dude out. It was the weirdest thing because you drive back there and everything was just so like, and how it was, and you saw what it was. You're looking at standing out like a sore thumb, especially at night. Glossy, pristine, white cowboy duds, and he's standing there just waiting. That's what he's doing.
Hey, man.
I wouldn't expect you ever like met him, but I mean that's I just wasn't sure if you ever. I used to go holler at him all the time.
Cowboy, seeing him, and he was my number 1.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what's up. Well, hey, man, I think we're gonna have to call it here, man, because it's getting late. I gotta head home. Y'all be good. I'll be good at it.
Yeah,
always.
Alan, thank you so much for inviting me back on the podcast. Man.
Absolutely, man. We'll talk again soon. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
And it was nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, Micah.
Nice to meet you, Micah.
We're gonna have we got another song that we're dropping probably next month. Or actually, no, this is September, right? We're already in September, so
yeah. I'll wake you up when it ends.
Thank you.
Oh no, we didn't.
I'm sorry.
We didn't go there, did we?
I'm sorry.
We're definitely.
I'm sorry.
We're definitely going to have a Halloween song next month. So we got one planned for the end of the month, maybe if it gets mixed in the program.
We got a proper Halloween.
That's what's.
We have a Halloween song that's dropping like
Rhetoric out of all time.
and that one I think you guys are really gonna like because it doesn't sound like anything that I've ever heard.
Awesome. Looking forward to it, man. Yeah, you come on again and promote it for sure. Right on. Well, you guys have a good night.
Thanks again for having us on, man. It was a lot of fun.
For sure, man.
Brother.
Deuces.
All right, yeah. Peace out.
Peace. Oh, it's a cat.
Oh, hey, kitty.
That's the cat. Good
Yep.
cat.
As the cat.
So you know anybody named
Well-
Rayro?
Ray-Ro.
Hey, bro.
No, Ray.
Uh, No, there's a loose connection socially there, but no, Ray Rowe is a talented martial artist. He beat all of our asses at the same time. He was really good. But no, Jesse looks like him. I know he had a brother, so that's what I was asking.
See, I was talking to my buddy yesterday, and I'm gonna have to jump here in just a minute. I'll
Yeah.
leave you with this. I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday, and I'm like, I keep getting these like, do you know this person or are you that person? And apparently, I've got more than one doppelganger because you're not that same comparison, but just like other random ones. Like, I didn't think I was that
Hey, one of them faces.
Hey,
one of them faces.
I got to tell you, Jesse, you came through with MVP tonight on some,
Oh yeah, this is fucking hilarious.
pulling some fact checking and some commenting slides.
I do what I can.
I think battle axe. Right away.
Battle axe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got one.
Yeah, figures.
I've got an actual axe over here in the back. So
Yeah.
never know when you might need it. So.
Me and Neve were talking about scalds today, and I was thinking about you, Jesse. We were talking about Bragi and scalds on the show not long ago, and then
Right.
you recently on your channel you had your deity discussions on Bragi. That was really good.
Yeah, I wanted to do that up on that podcast that I was on with you. Where we talked about that. I thought that's good timing.
You did a really good job. Like, even though there's not hardly anything there to talk about, you did a really good job spacing it out and making like a whole video on him.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm
Alice,
gonna I'm gonna jump off here, but before I do, I don't know if Wyatt's still watching, but he had a question for Alex. Something about D.H. Thorne. Remember him talking about? He's an author, I guess. Of
I know the
something,
name.
I don't know.
I know the
Yeah.
name.
Huh.
I have no idea.
I'll
but
take a
he's,
look at it.
Yeah.
Jesse, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Yeah, it was. I think
Yeah.
he was on that last live stream with us.
Oh, okay.
And speaking of Alice, make sure to check out, if you don't know, Jesse on Midgard Musings.
Yeah.
Really good content there.
Excellent
Really
source of information for
Yeah.
everything Norse heathenry and that
Thank
whole
you.
realm of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then I also do the Random Heathen Ramblings podcast, which
Yeah.
is in video format for channel members only, unless you catch it on the morning of the premiere.
Okay.
So every Thursday the video premieres and it's public, but then after the premiere, it's locked down to members only. But the audio podcast is on, Google, Apple, Spotify, all that.
Oh yeah.
Get your members only jacket.
Jesse, so you know all about like Norse mythology?
Oh, Danny, I'll send you a link to his channel, man. He is the
Yeah.
source.
Yeah, Danny, like we're with those guys.
Yeah, Dingo's on that channel too.
That's part of it.
Both of these guys like tell me everything I know about that stuff, which, mind you, is not very much, but these guys are a huge source of information for all that.
Okay, no, that's good to know. Yeah, I'm a weird sort of into ancient mystic shit. So.
Definitely, yeah. Check it out. It has to do with like the whole belief structure and worldviews of pre-Christian Scandinavia, but mythology is obviously a big part of it also. So check it out.
I'm always looking for associations between Thor's hammer and seven stars. So if you got anything good on seven stars and Thor's hammer, man, I need that info.
Okay,
that out
I will
there.
keep my eyes peeled and maybe do some digging myself.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to look into. You'll find stuff, but it's hard to find like really strong stuff. So
Yeah, there's a lot of different like symbology.
There's a lot there, man.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot there.
Symbology of the hammer.
Sometimes hit either one of us up on Facebook sometime.
Yeah.
There's a big source of comparative religious studies. For sure.
Yeah. I live for that shit.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for having me on, Alex. And,
Absolutely.
good to see you there, Danny and Eve and Dingo. You guys stay safe, and hopefully we'll all talk again soon. Appreciate it.
Take it easy, Jesse.
See you, man.
Have a good night.
happy Labor Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys too.
See you later,
Try
bro.
not to labor too hard.
Yes. Not to labor.
No, yeah,
So
that.
the
Americans
borders.
celebrate labor by not working.
Yeah.
Celebrate labor unions or some shit like
I
that.
was busy as shit.
Really? Nice. Yeah, no, Danny.
My drawer was double at my typical Monday.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll definitely send you a link to Midgard Musings because you'll love that shit, Danny.
No, I study Shemitic shit like so hard that I know like good connects on other veins of ancient mysticism are good for me because I'm too busy, basically.
After I decided I was kind of
Yeah, man. I can hook you up with other sources other than Midgard. Hit me up, man. Seriously.
Okay. Yeah. Now that seven stars thing's a big deal though because there's a vein of Judaism and Christianity that uses pagan terminology, and the Revelation of St. John is like older than most of the modern, like Legends of Thor and his hammer, were like post 400 AD as far as I understand it,
That's, yes and no. The historical record of that was mainly from a lot of Roman people that were studying those people, but they didn't written language. It was handed down
verbally,
right,
or orally,
like a lot of the Native American tribes or any Aboriginal tribes, and so
Yeah.
it was all verbal. So the stories that we read in print are from that period, but the stories themselves are way.
Yeah, like the oldest I could find Thor's hammer being associated with the seven stars was like 300 something AD, and that was like the deepest that they could dig, from what I was reading. But so when it says in Revelation that Jesus has the seven stars in his right hand, so if I could find a link that they stole that to speak to the people of that faith in their language, like Christians were saying, this legend about Thor is about Jesus. That's what I'm looking for, So yeah, a predating Christ.
I mean, that would be more on grass, I would say.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the pre-Christian period, which is where Jesse and I specialize.
Oh, cool.
Like that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
The Christ figure doesn't exist. Therefore.
No, Christians were stealing it to communicate,
Right, but the association with yes. You're talking probably Snorri would be one of the main authors in that period. Eric the Red had a lot of people on that. One of the last ones to convert to Christianity.
Sounds really familiar. I've heard that story.
Cornelius. I was trying to think of his name. Cornelius Socrates. He had a whole lot on the. It's fascinating how they blended culturally.
Like when Jesus, I am the way, like that. The cult of Pan said that like 300 years AD. I mean BC. 300 BC. The cult of Pan was saying that Pan was the way.
Yeah. Well, like Greco-Roman is also, which Roman. Sorry, Roman obviously went into the Catholic Church. So that whole Greco-Roman thing, that's also very how things shifted. The mindset and the language. It really is language, and that's something that I've always found very fascinating about early Christian scholars. When you're talking about that, like, as you said, like that 400 AD back kind of period.
Yeah.
It was more of like, how do we communicate with these people and relate to them and agree with them rather than how to convert them.
Yeah. No, like they do it today, even like when they go to a culture and translate the Bible into their language, like they debate heavily on whether to call God by the names of existing gods that are similar, you know, or whether to come up with a new verb for them to accept, like, or a new.
That's
noun.
hilarious.
Or even from a Christian
Yeah, that's the
perspective,
thing.
one of my really good friends is Filipino. Like
Mhm.
she lives in the Philippines.
Yeah.
She's Methodist.
Yeah.
I was raised Methodist.
Yeah.
Her version of Method and mine are
Yeah.
whoa, they are
Yeah.
polar opposite.
Yeah.
They're
They create that shit for that culture, man. That like so it transforms heavily. Like
and that's I'm with you, man. Like I want to get past all of the I'm glad we're gonna talk right now because I've watched those shows that you've been on with Alex before. And, like I'm tired of this division bullshit. And, like
it's nonsense.
Where we agree.
It's all about links in the network, bro. The more links in the network, the more information can be processed. You know?
Touching on back to what you're talking about, like, isn't it weird how like most of us agree about most things? It's just we talk about different ways, and people will like go to war over the wording on something, even though they agree in concept.
It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's retarded. Like
literally, yes, I know that's not a PC word, but yes, it's retarded. It's slow.
Yeah.
Hey, what are y'all trying to say? What the hell y'all over here trying to say?
Uh-oh, we got the justice police.
Wait a minute.
my grandmother was the teacher of special education, so I can use the word retarded.
I'm a musician, so I can use it as a musical phrase, which is pretty much what it is to retard.
Retardando, it comes from the Italian retardando, which means to slow down.
I was going to say, does it just set back? Yeah,
just
slow down.
Set back, hold down. Pull
I
back.
have vocal cords, so I can say it too.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, with music, it's more than just tempo, or it's more than just the sum of its parts. So they could just say slow down. It's got to be,
or
you have these different levels of
or jazz band terms. It's we all slow the fuck down for a minute.
Yeah. Back, bring it down.
Yeah.
Right there.
So I don't know if y'all want to let me fucking start rambling.
Go do it.
So God, like God, heaven, earth, God is like order, like, and then heaven's the space between order and chaos. It's a simple paradigm. Like, so the first thing that comes out of God is chaos, and then the second thing that comes out of Him is let there be light. Like, and that's words in formation. So the first dissemination from God has no meaning. It's chaotic. It's confusion. And then the second emanation from God is in formation. It's in order. And so it implies that the generation of life, like, has meaning, like literally like information, and they're opposing these two concepts of meaning and meaningless with the manifestation of reality. But so by the time you get to the Tower of Babel, and then you have the confusion of languages, like that's where meaning and information.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but technically the first words of the Bible were not Hebrew, but Aramaic.
It's not Hebrew. Hebrew.
But
I thought it was in Sanskrit.
But
the Torah.
But there were
it's complicated.
12 names for God, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, way more than me, but was it not the first line was in the beginning there was Yahweh and Yahweh was Jehovah?
No, that's wrong. People say all kind of funny stuff.
Yahweh, not my way.
Stick out. Yeah, not in the beginning, Elohim, Barar, Samayim, Eretz. Like in the beginning, Elohim created the heaven space, which is Samayim, earth, Eretz, which is form. So you have like the potential, differentiation and the actualization, which is the substance. Like,
Because
but
through
no, it's the
those
word Elohim.
translations, as you were talking at the Tower of Babel, like those 12 names of God get interchanged, but they all have different meanings.
Yeah.
You know, like,
No, they all
again,
reflect
correct me
some
if I'm
aspect
wrong,
of it.
Yahweh means word, right?
It means self-existent one,
The truth.
generally. Like, it's a form of the being verb, which is Hayah, which is Yahweh. Like, and so Hawa is Hayah. And it's a being verb, which means to. So they feel that Yahweh is this self-existence, like, or the generator of existence. And it's sort of like I birthed myself. Like, you didn't birth yourself. Yeah, but whatever birthed itself, like, that must be God. You know?
And Jehovah means love. Correct?
No, they feel like it means the self-existent.
Something right.
Yeah, you get into translators, of grammar, and
Right.
so there's all these shades
I
of
may
it.
be wrong on my translation, but I do know that
Yeah.
the 12 names of God are all
Mm-hmm.
different aspects.
Yeah.
The 12 names of God is the Sephirot, right? You're talking about the Sephirot?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's all
Like,
different things. It's too complicated to explain in one specific term.
yeah.
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 Divided and then
Gotcha.
Like, there's generally like only 3 names of the God in the Old Testament text, which is El, Elohim, and Yahweh. But then they add like a ton of words to El, like El Shaddai or El. I'm gonna suck at remembering them since we're talking about it. But yeah, Adonai, Adonai, and then that's right.
Which El is a Sumerian.
Yeah, like it was a generic term for any god, and Elohim could be a generic term for any god.
You had El and Enlil. They were brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not at all unlike, Yahweh or whatever you want to call it, and Satan or Lucifer at that time.
Yeah.
Reminds me, it also reminds me of Set and Osiris.
A lot of those stories relate.
Oh shit! Y'all just brought up something. I got it sitting right here.
It's all
Pull it out.
those Mesopotamian cultures are so ancestral.
Ooh.
Backwards, or can people read it?
I can.
Babylon's nice. Yes. Yeah.
Alexander Hislop. This is old as fuck, y'all. And this guy compares all of those legends that you just mentioned, the Set and Osiris and Isis and mother, child, father, son, mother, brother. He goes through all of them and shows how they're all the same shit.
Nice.
This guy has been banned in countries and shit, but he's like an old Catholic priest from I think it was 1700s, man.
Wow.
He references a few hundred books in here, and a bunch of them don't even exist anymore. They've been burned out of existence. Yeah, it's a cool book. Yeah. Here, let me something. I just pull up a random crazy picture. Crazy culture.
Whoa. Is that
right?
is that Bale on the left? It's like a goat or a bull or something.
Figures one. I don't know. Yeah, it probably is. He's got the 2 pillars, the ox head, one with the fire and the sun over it. Guy sitting on the rainbow. What is this? I don't know where his illustration.
I was going to say that could also very easily be associated with Egyptian and Newt. It would appear to be a cow in the middle.
Oh,
this
gotcha.
is a long time before Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like 100 years before Aleister.
Well, I mean, 666 is part of Jewish numerology.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's not.
Right.
No, it did add the Caesar Nero in Hebrew perfectly adds up to 666. I verified that with the ancient Hebrew of his spelling of his name from the time.
666 is the body, 777 soul, 888.
God, heaven, earth in the Hebrew text. If you add up the numerical gematria value of each letter from the text itself, adds up to 777. God, heaven, earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
the term priest is used 77 times in the Bible.
Oh wow,
Oh, I gotta check that. That's dope.
that's awesome.
I'm gonna find out. That's dope. That's cool.
Which I always appreciated the Egyptian concept of seshperon,
Of who?
which is a lay priest.
Oh,
Seshperon, a priest in the way of life. That's what it directly translates.
The Hebrew word for
That was someone who wasn't ordained, but they had that knowledge.
the word priest in Hebrew is kanan, and the cannibals were priests of Baal, Kahan Baal. Yeah. Fun Bible fact to scare people.
Right.
yeah.
That picture I just showed, but yeah, it was Baal. You were right. El Berith, Lord of the Covenant, sitting on the rainbow.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, my whole angle of my book is to show that the rabbis that wrote scripture hid a transcendental meditation practice. But like the whole premise is that a covenant was a summoning spell to possess you with the sound. Like,
Oh, okay.
so like it's sort of like
Invocation of sorts.
Oh,
like building a temple itself represented God, heaven, earth, and they built them that way to summon God to it. Which is all about consciousness inhabiting a body. It's kind of a funny thing.
huh.
Far out.
Funny to think about.
As silly a reference as it is, that if you build it, they will come.
I
Yeah.
love the Field of Dreams for that
Right.
shit, man.
Right?
Yeah.
If you build it, they will come. It's whatever you put into it that makes it come to fruition, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I was gonna fit a one line of dreams in my book, and then like 2 days later, Field of Dreams is in the news. It's in the news. Fucking because they just had a baseball game at the field because they're doing some kind of spin-off from it or something. Kevin Costner's like watching the Red Sox play the White Sox at fucking like actual baseball field they built for the movie. Yeah, it just happened. Random shit. That's funny you mentioned that.
How did we go from religious stuff?
No, if you build it that's the exact premise, man. Like,
Masturbatory.
like-
Let's do a new movie.
it's just weird. Yeah. But, no, this shit really was about summoning spirits. The Bible is a summoning spell. The God spell, that's what the word gospel means, God spell. And it's about summoning a spirit. And you either the Holy Spirit or the evil spirit. And there's only two. And that's God, heaven, earth in the first 2 verses of Genesis. Those are the 2 spirits. And everything in the universe is an emanation of these 2 spirits or a combination in between. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
but see, notice something else. I have 3. It's not 2.
Oh. Dingo, I love when you about this shit with the 3. It's not binary.
We
Yeah.
are the third.
Yeah.
That's where free will comes in, and all that shit comes in. We are the third.
Yeah. No, that blew my mind the first time you told me that because it's not just 0 and 1. It's also the black that the 0 and 1 is like on that you're seeing it on. It's like,
The gray is where everything is.
yeah. There's in between.
Everything is trigonometry and
Because
physics.
it's about integration. Yeah. No, integration is what generates reality.
We're trying to achieve the black or white, but we are gray.
But think about that. That goes into 3 dimensions, triangulation. All trigonometry is what physics is based around. All physics is based around trigonometry.
I got biases or something. I don't know how
Now
to-
we can jump even a little bit wilder and say, what's 10 3? 6.
Gotta come back.
The number that represents the earth. And then another 3 is 9, the number that represents heaven. That's what Jimmy meant when he said if 6 was 9.
I was gonna say now, Dave, you get this weird shit now because I mean, we all know that you and me are like down to 6. Be a 9.
Right. But I don't mind. I mind.
All mountains just don't follow me.
Yeah, exactly it. You know, point on, Mr. Businessman.
You know,
You
it's
can't dress like me.
funny because like I got people in my life like you guys that'll like show me shit. It's like from a generation, before me. And it's like, man, this is fucking great. It's like, what is this? But it's also it's so disheartening, and it's so depressing, because like a perfect example I can think of, not even in the music realm. Neef showed me a video of Malcolm X, in the 50s.
I think it was the 60s.
60s.
It was early 60s.
At Berkeley, giving this very, very poignant speech. And like, it's in black and white, and it's at Berkeley, but like, people are still talking about the same shit today. Like, it's just the same rehashed. Like, so it's really because I see all of these prolific artists and speakers and philosophers in the last 100 years. But what difference did they really make? And that's just sad.
Well, Alice, we didn't want to like bring it down, but that's also perspective.
Yeah.
Because you could also think,
But they did. They did
Yeah.
make a difference, 'cause here we are.
yeah, I mean, it didn't make as much of a difference to satisfy, I think, everything, because it goes back to that good and bad. It's got to do this shit,
Man, I'm I'm a little fuzzy on the whole bad thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, people that
You
aren't.
said don't cross the streams. Now
Hey.
you're saying cross the streams. I'm a little fuzzy on the whole good bad thing.
Right.
Yeah.
hey,
I don't trust people that think they understand it really well, right? That like, it's like I got my morals really, really clearly planned out. Under absolutely no circumstances will I ever do this, and this. It's like, oh, I would never take a man's life. Oh, I would never, ever, absolutely, under any circumstances, do that. It's like, really? Really? Do you really? You don't mean that, right? I hope you don't mean that.
I mean, I'll say it publicly, but I have before.
Yeah.
You hurt my kid, I'll kill you.
And I mean, I wouldn't do if you didn't. You're just gonna let someone walk into your house? Like, who does that?
right. It's very simple. It's very without any personability about it. It's very not that much thought goes into this. It's not even premeditated. That's natural reaction.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I had a customer. There's a guy that had trouble with the air in Florida, and he started fucking with one of our regular customers' kids. And some just snapped.
Yeah. Nope.
Let's see if we go to a real fucked up place.
Mhm.
Somebody else's.
Yeah.
There's zero tolerance for that kind of
Nope.
shit.
Zero.
Yup.
And that right there is also tundra law.
Yeah, right.
That's hardcore tundra law.
But it's kind of like, and maybe this is like a chauvinist kind of thing, but it's also pretty instinctual if you look at animals, like the paternal instinct of like, you don't hit a woman, like or like, I mean, there are plenty of instances where I absolutely would hit a woman. But just as a catch-all,
Burr has a big long.
It becomes apparent of, like, there's that paternal instinct, too,
Right.
but, like, you just don't fuck mama bear or papa
yeah,
Well, that's the idea. I mean, that's what I was going to say. The best example in nature. That's why they say mama bear, because one of the best examples in nature is a bear. A lot of them are not carnivores. They're not a danger to you as far as they're going to try to eat you. But territorially, they're going to run you off, and if you ain't quick enough, they might fuck you up. If you see a bear cub, you are in more danger than you've ever fucking been in your life, because mama bear will see you within a vicinity of baby cub, and she asking no questions. No questions are being asked. You are not supposed to be there, and if you didn't understand them laws of nature, tough shit. Mama bear about to fuck you up, and she ain't gonna feel bad about it. She's gonna feel real nice and good about it. Do it right in front of her child.
got something more than a $9 on
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, no, but what I was saying is like we're talking about this like no, I mean like societally, you see someone mistreating a child, there's like this instinctual like stepping in,
Mm-hmm.
and I think and overall I'd say that most people feel this way, and it might be like a chauvinistic thing, but I think a lot of people feel this way in terms of like if you saw someone harassing a woman, you're gonna step in and intervene. That's not okay.
Right.
And I think that is an instinctual thing, right? Because when it comes to kids, it's like that is the future of our species. We put extra value on that because it's the future of our species. With women, it's like, okay, a man can have 6 litters of kids at once. A woman can only have 1 litter of kids at once. Like, can only carry 1 litter at once. Whereas, you know, a man can have like, so I would say biologically, women are more valuable than.
I mean, I could say it on that level as far as it being instinctual, not to. I'm not saying not to assault or attack. I think it's not so much instinctual specifically for females in general as it is taught, because in that same idea that we can have 1,000 and they can have 1 at a time, many societies have turned that into making worth less, because I as a man can have several of them, and
That is incorrect.
Right.
That is actually objectively incorrect.
Right, and
they are actually a more valuable resource because of that.
Right, and I'm not arguing with that. I'm saying, but it could be argued as far as someone's being raised into that. There's a lot of cultures that you walk in the street and they see a woman getting smacked by what's perceived to be her man. They're not going to do a damn thing.
There are many cultures that,
There are many. And, you know, I don't think that's right. But what I'm saying is it's not instinctual, because if that's been taught that they don't, you know, I would agree there's probably in there, you know, I mean, I necessarily feel that way, but
I think it's
it might be buried in. Yeah. Yeah. Well, cats are notoriously don't give a shit about their kids.
It's not all.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's, I'm sure there is, you know, like you're saying, I think as an animal, right, I think as an animal that instinct should be in there if we didn't burn it all away. I know if it wasn't just taught in me, I guess I would feel in essence that way, but then people would look at me, like you're saying, like a chauvinist or a sexist, because they'd say, I don't feel that a woman could take care of herself.
Well, I mean,
but you also got to think, we might instinctually not want to deal with combat. There's a lot of people I know that'll jump into between a fight between dudes and get their ass kicked because they just wanted to hop in the middle of a fight.
Well, yeah, I'm also going to be way less inclined if I saw you guys fighting. I'd be way less inclined to break that up, or I saw it literally it wouldn't matter the
as
gender.
In us as you knowing us, or us as strangers. Because if you saw me and Dingo scrapping, you'd probably be like, damn.
Oh, there'd be a lot of reasons I wouldn't get in the middle of that. There'd be several reasons I wouldn't get involved.
But you probably would not be like, oh, World Star. Alex would be over there World Star and that shit.
Filming.
Next rabbit hole. Local musicians beat the crap out of each other in random parking lots.
In the left corner. But
you're gonna do that, like plug the advertisement. Y'all remember bum fights?
Oh Jesus!
I do.
This is worse. These are Nashville musicians. They have even less to lose.
That was my era of the internet that I grew up in. I remember bump fights. That wasn't my thing. I wasn't like that kid, but I remember it existing.
Yeah, we can do like busker standoffs. We'll be standing there with acoustics.
It's gonna be like, you get punched in the face. It's like, oh dude, I'm sorry. Did that hurt? I'm like, no, that's perfect.
We should do like bus standoff, you know, be like charge each other street from, up 2nd Avenue. That'd be, they just started beating the crap out of each other with their damn guitars. It's the coolest damn thing I ever seen.
Oh, wow, that's so artsy.
That's so
What an art piece.
I think what they're trying to say is that the industry really forces them to fight with one another over the piece of block they perform on.
That's it.
As I shake my tip jar. Right. It was all about the E minor, A minor shit. But don't worry about that. Mind the tip jar.
What I'm saying is, I think, like, take gender out of it. If you see two people that are like roughly equivalently equipped to fight each other, let's just say from appearance, you're going to be less inclined to do that than if you see some 300-pound beast taking on this 115-pound dude. It's like, I mean, I don't know what that guy did, but this isn't fair.
Right.
This isn't okay.
Right. Now, also, it's a circumstantial thing. You strolling home by yourself, your car broke down, and you're not so nice neighborhood. And as you go strolling by, you see some big dude beating the crap out of somebody down the block. And you're in the area where if you do go intervene, he might very well beat the crap out of you because he's pretty much done beating the crap out of this dude as you're seeing it.
Yeah.
Not to say you probably maybe not should call somebody. I'm not really about calling the law, but
I'm not about to be too altruistic in that circumstance.
Right. I don't necessarily know if I'm gonna be the best hero for you, my man.
I guess I'm more talking about how my opinion of the situation would be.
Right.
Like,
you're gonna have adrenaline.
I feel fucked
flow.
up about it.
Right. Well,
it's like me and him.
The instinct that occurs is adrenaline. When we as humans, for the most part, and different levels of it, we react to violence with adrenaline. We recognize it.
Like fight or flight response.
It's just what it is. Because on the tundra, an attack is an attack, regardless of what it is. Right. It's ready, it's go time. Y'all, your senses are ready to go because somebody's getting eaten and you don't want to be the next. Is usually what that means. We got to go because somebody's getting eaten around and it ain't you. Because you can still run.
Yeah.
As we go back, that was the dude who was the lazy one in the tribe. Right. That was the lazy one in the tribe who was getting eaten. He couldn't run quite as fast as everybody else.
We've been going for about a little over 2 hours. That'd be a good one to leave Alice with.
Yes.
A little tale. Maybe go ahead and tell her because I don't think Alice knows this story.
Alice, I guess you don't know about the tundra tale.
You've told me this story.
Of the lazy. The tribesman who felt he had no real place other than to hang out and eat and enjoy the spoils of the work of the rest of the tribe. He naturally grew not quite as physically fit as the rest because he didn't exercise, he didn't really run around, he didn't go hunt. And eventually after he was gone, they put a statue of him up. And the children ask, why is that statue there? I see no other statues of the warriors you tell me about and the great hunters and the people who have saved us. The only statue I see is this guy that y'all never mention him because he has one story. He did nothing, but he saved tribe. There's a lion that approaches our tribe and our village once a few years. And as he must run, we all must run. That in particular year, we did not have to run as far. He saved the tribe. We gave him a statue. If you ever want a statue, just do like him. Otherwise, work like everyone else.
You can. Moral of the story is you can save the tribe just by running slower than everyone else.
And that might be a statue where I'm from.
There's an oldish Native American movie about this kid he has to cross a couple of states. And his dad was like kind of like the reservation fuck up. And he was drunk and all this shit. But there was a house fire, and his dad was the only one that went into the house.
Right. We're actually just about to
We're just kind of wrapping things up.
Yeah.
Dingo's telling a story right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that same kind of a thing. It's like, yeah, he may be viewed as a fuck up in society, but he was still the only one that learned how to save kids.
well, that's a noble man.
Basically, I'm gonna give the quotes on the story Neef was saying. Basically, there's the hunters all go out and they're like, taking care of the tribe, and then there's this one guy in the tribe who he's fat and lazy off of everyone else's work. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't contribute. But then one day, what happens is a lion comes to the village, and everyone has to run from the lion. But the freeloader wasn't able to run very far.
Not
So
very
you ate
fast.
first.
So, and he was so nice and big, lion was satiated
Yeah.
by it.
So what
he
we
saved the tribe.
do is we erect a statue to our hero because he saved the tribe.
That's the only way you get a statue on the tundra. Because when you're a good hunter, you're
That's
doing what you're
expected.
supposed to, and we'll tell your story.
Yeah.
We'll remember you. Otherwise, we'll just put a statue up so when some kid asks, well, then we'll tell him. If you want your fame and glory to be lived like that, then that's how we'll do it in stone. You're not worth words that way. You're not worth my memory. We can look at you still.
It's like an effort to remember someone, right? Like
Right.
you're keeping it alive with you.
There's a moral to be learned from that,
Yeah.
Like everybody has their place too. Like he may be this piece of shit, but yeah, he still was a saving the tribe.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's right, and it's
We want to generate his image through arts.
right, and that's exactly what you let the children know. If you want to be the famous one with a statue like him, then you can get eaten like him. You can be the lazy ass that gets to eat him because we're not going to save you when the lion shows up.
Well, it's like you were
We're
telling.
going to run and
You're-
go, oh shit, you couldn't make it. Well, oh cool, lion's got it. Oh, hold on,
the
y'all.
guys in Athens at the National Guard was like, you built your own bed, sleep in your own bed, bro.
Or like that Sun
Nice
Tzu
company, you be gonna
parable.
let eat.
Full
Yep.
circle. Full circle right there.
Yep.
There you go.
Well, Alice,
Yeah, it's been a Labor Day. We still don't know what holiday's about.
hello.
We had fun. Dingo, Danny, thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because it's been interesting. I actually think this right here is a good table. Maybe Jesse too. I might revisit this or something.
This has been a really good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had my kids were calling, and I didn't get to talk to them on their birthdays, so
Wow.
it was like the day after.
I hear
I'm upset if you
Yeah,
didn't
we
take
were
that.
assholes.
Yeah. I mean,
You better take that.
I've been bebopping in and out of the table
Yeah,
myself. So,
I was like, oh, I gotta go.
Yeah.
well, cool deal.
Same thing earlier.
I mean,
Well, Alice, once again, check out Midgard Musings, and you can find Dingo over there hanging out sometimes with Jesse, who was on earlier, and Danny down here, as we've had him on several times. Also, he's got the way back, and
I kind of archived it, but you can find me.
oh yeah, and well, absolutely put all the links down at some point since the one. we'll have to post edit things. But
Yep.
anyhow,
Good times.
Good times.
Y'all.
Well, Alice, we'll see you next week. Have a good night.
good night, Alice. How do you